Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to be going over a palindrome algorithm. So a palindrome algorithm returns true if a word is spelled the same way frontwards as it is backwards, and false if that's not the case. So here I have a function called palindrome. It's taking a string as an argument. In this case, the string is cookie. So let's return that string to make sure everything's firing. And that looks good. Okay, so there's three easy ways to solve for this problem. The first way, I almost kind of feel like it's cheating. It's so easy, but let's do it anyways. So I'm going to take that string and I'm going to turn it into an array. I'll say let array equals string, and then I'll call the split method here. And what this does is converts every letter in that string to an element in the array. And this is what it looks like. You can see each letter is now in the array as an element. So now I can call the the reverse method first. And this is going to reverse every element in this array. You can see that right there. And now I'll call the join method to turn this array back into a string. Okay. That was pretty easy. And now all you do is just compare this value to the original string. This should be false because this is not spelled the same way frontwards as backwards. Let's try a different word like platform. This should also be false. And it is. Now let's try an actual palindrome such as racecar. This should return true. And it does. Let's try another one. Let's try tacocat. That should return true as well. And it does. Okay, cool. So that is like the quick and easy way to solve this algorithm, but maybe it's not the best programmatic way to show your skills. So another way you can solve this algorithm is also by creating an array and then doing a for loop through that array. So let me show you that style. So I'm going to make a new array. I'll call it let array equals string dot split. Okay, and then I'll make a for loop to loop through that array. I'll say let I, and I'm not going to set I to 0 here because I actually want to grab the last letters first of my array and then spew them out into another array. So I'm actually going to call string dot length minus 1 here is my variable value, and then I want I to, as long as it's greater than or equal to 0, I want to decrement I. Okay, so what does that look like? Let's console.log that out. It should be all the last letters of the array first. So I'm going to actually change this back to cookie just so this makes more sense. And then I'm going to console log string at index I. So let's see if it's backwards now. And you see it is. It's shooting out the last letters first. That's because we're starting at the last index first. Okay? So this looks good. Now we just need to shoot these letters into a new array. So let's make an array called result. And I'm just going to push these values to result. So I'm going to say push string at index I. And now if I return result, it should be cookie backwards, right? Let's see. And nice, there it is. So it's cookie backwards. So again, we can call the join method here, just so we can convert that array back to a string. And now let's compare this with the actual string to see if the value is a palindrome. I would expect this to be false. Let's try another word. False. Now let's try an actual palindrome. And then, of course, tacocat. You can't forget about that. And this should be true, and it is. So excellent. That is a perfectly viable way to solve this problem. And again, we're just making a for loop. We're starting at the last index and just pushing those values to a new array. And then we're just returning that array, right? So that's pretty easy. There's another take on this problem, which doesn't require any arrays, actually. So we're just going to loop through the string and pretty much do the same thing, but just a little bit different. So let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to make a for loop, let I equal string.length minus 1, just like we were doing before pretty much with the array. As long as I is greater than or equal to 0, I'm going to want to decrement I. Now, instead of pushing these last letters when they spew out into an array called result, let's make a new array or a new result variable, but we're going to set it to a string value. Okay, so inside of my for loop, I'm just going to add those letters into the string variable, or sorry, into the result variable. And you can do that in JavaScript. It seems kind of weird, but you can actually add strings on top of one each other, and they kind of like concatenate. So let me show you what that means. I'm going to say result equals result plus string at I. And you can write it like that, but there's actually a shorthand. You can just call result plus equals string at I. And then I'm going to return result. And this is pretty cool because it actually is going to reverse the string for me and return the reverse string. So let's pass in something we know is not a palindrome like cookie, and let's return that. And you can see cookie is backwards. Oh, but I forgot to put the greater than or equals to, so make sure you don't mess up your for loop like that. Okay, there it is. It's backwards. Perfect. And now we can just compare this to the original string to check if it's a palindrome or not. I would expect it to be false here. It is. Let's try platform. False. Now let's try an actual palindrome. True. And then, of course, tacocat. True. So there you have it, guys. There's 3 quick and easy ways to check if a string is a palindrome or not. I hope you enjoyed this video, and keep studying hard. Until next time.